Production.
Support reach.
I know what it is, man. You're now tuned in to the Hodge Podge Sports Show with a picks on target, sharper than Katniss Everdeen with a crossbow. Before you place a bet, better check with Patrick and Sean first. Unless your aim is that, I'll advise. Check the stores first. Forget the mother stations, we got you covered. Don't waste your time. Ain't no need to straddle the fence. Now you can take a side with competition where you think a gazelle can take a line. If you in opposition, just listen. It will change your mind. This will catch you right here. And every show a banger like Ray Lewis at the court. I don't perform, you gotta stop it or build a trust. God, don't come on here talking that nonsense, don't know nothing. No hesitation, get put in your place. End the discussion. No shit coating over here, keep it 100. Got a question, we gon' come with the answer like out. Yeah. If you ain't know then, you know now just what time it is. Sean, reppin' the city, your brotherly love. Philly stand up, Super Bowl 52 champion. More in the building, make some noise for his pack. Got Trump City on his back, putting on for it like shout, rip it back with the Orioles. And he's walking down the diving skill. This knowledge from his common skill to follow it. Shout out to you. Without you, this ain't possible. You rock with us, we rock with you. I love us, I love you. Much love to the fan base and follow the fan page. It's deeper than sports talk. It's something like family. Ever and be more. Let's get you a crab cake. Oh, you and Philly say let's grab you a T-shake. Now run and tell the sports fanatics that you know online. Tune in every weekend when we going live.
NGSC Sports, but we never stop.
Every weekend when we going live.
Come on, Chaz. Bring it home.
Yeah. I know what time it is, man. HPS time it is. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Get tuned in.
Here he comes.
Support reach.
Cause sports passion ain't no better place to let it out than right HPS when we never stop.
Yes, sir. Big night. NBA recap, NBA draft, college football. Sean's going in on y'all sucker ducks. Hope y'all ready. You know what it is. It's Big Skin Saturday night, baby. Woo-wee. Welcome to the Hodge Podge Sports Show. I am the Hodge. He is the Podge of the sports show. Our third man in the booth, Danny Spaulding. What up, Danny?
Can you get me? I have a water
Okay.
What up?
I was just gonna say he'll be with us in a second. I know he's on the line. He's keeping an eye on that OSU game. I think OU's putting it on him right now. So you know, hanging there with him. What's up, Lou? I see you out there on the phone line. What's going on, Lou?
How are you?
Oh, we're doing well,
Right
man.
now,
We're doing,
the Michigan game is really doing it.
you know, Big Ten sucks. But anyway, we'll get to it. So let me do this real quick. Hodge Podge Sports Show is sponsored by Arena Eats. Onto the website, arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app. Pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Woo! Man, let's go back over this real quick. What up, Brian Jones? What up, Mike Ziegler? So we're going to start off with college football. Danny Spaulding's going to be walking us through that. Then, you know, I get to kick back, rest my pipes, let my man go in, because tonight it's going to be NBA. I'm telling you right now. Look here. Where's the camera at? Camera 2, we ready? Camera 2, we ready? Boston Celtics fans, I need y'all to check in. I need y'all to check in. All right? I'm calling the Boston Celtics fans out.
They're not calling it.
They need to check in, right?
They're not checking in.
I'll wait till we get there.
No, what? Come on.
I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in. Hey, Mike Ziegler, you exactly right, man. Where the groupies at?
I'm right here. I'm right here.
I love it. Mike Ziegler said, where the groupies at? I love it, Brian Jones. You know this is going to be off the hook, Brian Jones. If anybody's gunning, if he's out there, if he's not working, I need him to come because he's about the only Atlanta Hawks fan I know in our group. And I want to hear how he's feeling because Atlanta Hawks are doing some things. They're doing some things. What up, Michael Shane Martin Jr.?
Hold on, we got a couple.
That trade, you telling me to him and Bill?
We got Dre, we got Mike, we got Dre, we got Mad Mike.
No, Danny
Mad Mike. Oh, Danny likes Trae Young. That means he's a part-time Atlanta Hawks fan. What's the other dude name? Brian. Brian Keatle. I think his last name is Brian Keto. I think he's an Atlanta fan.
Bryce Keto?
Bryce,
You might be an
is it
Atlanta
Bryce?
fan. You might be
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. No, we got Atlanta's got a pretty nice showing outside of them Tennessee fans that are somehow Atlanta Braves fans. Tennessee's got Atlanta's got a pretty nice showing in our group.
Yeah.
And I want to say
Brian Jones said they had witnessed.
They witnessed. Listen, man, I like real quick. That's another one. Demetrius, he's another Atlanta fan. We got a couple of them in here.
Yeah, that's a good call. You know what up, Kick Nick Carter? For y'all don't know who Kick Nick Carter is, y'all just heard my man ripping that verse out. You know, stage name is Taz. He coming up here and Kick Nick Carter. Check out his website, man. That dude. You want somebody to stay hustling? That young man stay hustling. You know what I mean? He got his Kick Nick Carter site where he's giving out shoes, selling shoes. Man, I got my dreams on tonight because we talking NBA. Man, ooh, Marcus McKnight, what's going on, big fella? Glad to see you. Glad to see you, man. We gonna be talking NBA, man. Look. I think maybe I need to give in. I'm always ripping the NBA, but man, we got some groupies up in the got some thing on there. But look, what I want to say to you real quick is this right about our group.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed. I think I told you this before, and maybe we need to wake these people up. But do you know who our biggest NFL base of fans is? Like, not the ones that post a lot, but just in general. Do you know who that is? I told you this before, and you probably don't remember.
Like who? Like how many fans of one team?
Yes. Yes. If they all showed up and posted, it would be ridiculous how many Saints fans we have.
I feel like that's interesting.
Yeah, we have. I have to show you one time, like when we go into the admin settings, if you go in, like you can look where our people are from and everything, because we're represented throughout the United States and then a couple other countries. We have a huge Louisiana following. Like when we got all those members, when we started hitting like 1,000 and 1,500, we had an influx from Louisiana. It's ridiculous how many in New Orleans. Yeah. And Danny, we also have a lot of people from Oklahoma too in our group. No.
Really?
Yeah, we do. We do. You'd be surprised at how many people from out that way. Like you.
Well, yeah. I mean,
wait on what there? It's what we have. Yeah, but
isn't
Dewan Rhodes?
That's what I say. Dewan helped us out a lot. Dewan helped us out. I know Dewan helped us out a lot. I know Q and Danny have both helped us out a lot with that. And what about the girl Chandler too? I don't think she gets shouted out enough, but she always represents when she has the time too. I mean,
does. Yeah, she does. She just moved, got a new house and all that good stuff, man. So we appreciate everybody. Basically, we're just doing a little bit of roll call here. You know, we appreciate everybody. You know what I mean?
That's because we got the best fan base out there.
Grown. We started this thing. We do. We started this thing out with like 200 members. We're now sitting at 1,900, and we're coming up on year 2, man. It's great. There he is, Bryce Keto. We have a question for you, fella.
Wow.
Are you an Atlanta Hawks fan, Bryce Keto? I hope so, man, because we want y'all to check in with us and tell us how y'all feeling about them Hawks. So y'all want to hand the trophy to the Lakers now in June?
I was reading that, but listen. Listen.
All right, Brian.
Well, Brian, we're gonna get into that. Don't worry.
Are you ready? Yeah. Make sure Danny's ready. Danny, you ready? Because I know you're watching the game. You ready?
Can you hear me just fine?
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, you sound low though.
I heard him good there.
Okay, you hear him? Okay, yeah.
I heard him.
Okay, good. So, I'm glad he is an Atlanta Hawks fan. Good. Guys, hang with us. We're going to talk college football right now. We love this guy. He's from straight Philly. This is the day that the Florida Gators can kiss the playoffs goodbye because they didn't cover the spread against Vanderbilt today. So I was reading this chat, and his premise to me was like, really? That's what he's going off of? Like, he could have had a strong argument because I'm watching Ohio State. They struggle with Indiana. They didn't cover the spread. So if Ohio State loses, does that mean they're not in the playoffs either? Based off this line of thinking. And there was some good stuff going back between Danny, Kevin, and Sean, about Clemson, Notre Dame, and a couple other people chiming in too. Sean missed this conversation a couple weeks ago, so I want to kind of get back into this a little bit. Because we were having this conversation about who we think could get in and what they were thinking, and we were discussing where Clemson would be if they lost and they end up losing that game to Notre Dame. And Danny and I were like, we were on the opposite ends of where we thought they like and the reasoning on it. But Danny, talk to us about this college football landscape, man. I think it's really getting thrown into more of a tailspin as we keep going because these games are not being played. Like, so Texas A&M didn't play today, Clemson didn't play today. But talk to me about what's going on and where we're headed with this. Dude, get out of here.
So we kind of happened down the season, with all the COVID games would get postponed.
Yeah.
I hopefully it becomes just such a nightmare at the end of the season that they're going to have to make up games. But it's ruining it for me because there's only like maybe 2 good games a weekend right now. It seems like when you do have teams play, it's just really bad football to begin with. They're not very good teams. Teams you thought would be really good this year just aren't really performing, like Michigan, Penn State, kind of like that. So it's kind of rare now that you're getting a good weekend of football. Today we had Ohio State and Indiana. I thought kind of over there towards the middle of it or whatever. Ohio State looked like they're going to run away with it, but Indiana started making a good comeback, and I think Indiana is going to be a very, very good squad this year for some reason. I watched a little game. I didn't watch it, but we were talking to that Kevin, and I just didn't understand his reasoning on that. You can go back to every season after a team has struggled against a bad team. It happens every year. It just happens. You're not going to be a team that plays to the full potential 100% of the time every week. It's just not a possibility. Sit there and say that Florida is out of it, play enough against Vanderbilt, even though they won, is a little weird to me. I don't follow that at all. If Florida wins out, they're in the playoffs. Like that's just how it's going to go. I was reading something, fellas. I look over the scoreboard. They catch the scores to put down on sites, and today 6 games involving top 29 teams are either postponed or canceled. I mean, what does that really tell you? Boring football. We knew this was going to happen, though. I mean, especially in the later stages, like October, November, when the cold starts coming in and people start getting sick and whatnot. So I'm not really surprised with this, at all.
It tells me that COVID's not a hoax and that it didn't go away November 4th. That's what it tells me, So I'm sorry. Facts here. Like, I mean, it's good. I don't like the real question is, and the real question I think that we should all have is, are we going to finish the college football season? Are we going to finish the NFL season? I mean, NBA starts in a month and 1 day. Are we going to be able to get the NBA season off? The only way we actually get to see these seasons progress is, I think, the same way that the NBA just did it. Is you got to get in a bubble. It's the only way you could really try to have any form of success with it. But the only problem is now with the bubble is that was only for a month or 2. Now, if you try to do it, you're trying to get these guys to stay in a bubble for, 4, 5, 6 different months. But I mean, I think college football, because the money they have, is of course going to finish. And I think the same with the NFL. They're going to figure out a way to finish no matter what. But I want to circle back to the Florida being out of the playoffs. I'm on the side of Kevin that if Florida isn't going to make the playoffs, but I'm on the side of Kevin. I'm on the side of Kevin for a different reason that Florida's not going to make the playoffs. I think if Clemson beats Notre Dame the second time around in the conference finals, as long as Clemson wins out and plays Notre Dame, then I don't see how you don't let Clemson and Notre Dame both in when they both have, I think Notre Dame, that'd be Notre Dame's first loss, if I'm not mistaken, and they both beat each other. So it'd be really hard for you to have to justify having Bama, Notre Dame, and Clemson in. And I'm not even sure, to be honest, who the fourth team would be to get in. But I don't think it'd be Florida, because Florida's sitting 6 right now on the rankings. So whoever that third ranked team would be the one that gets in, as long as, again, they win out. But you're asking. You're asking. I mean, we're trying to predict the future here, and it's really hard to do, especially in college football. I mean, who would have ever thought for a second that Penn State would be 0-5 at this point in the season? Ohio State, that's the team that I was missing. I don't know why I forgot about them, but like nobody would ever thought Penn State was going to be 0-5 at this point in the season. And now I have with the losses to not just Indiana, who's actually turned out to be a pretty good squad this year, but Nebraska, they lost Michigan State today. They almost got blown out by Ohio State. I mean, it's besides the point. This is what happens every single year. A bad team always beats a good team, but the difference between a bad team being a good team, and this is what I was talking about with Danny earlier today, is that when you look at the losses, and that's what college football does, like that's what the committee does, right? Is they look at the losses and see what loss was worse, right? Or what loss was a loss better than a win in some scenarios, right? And I can't be told that Clemson's loss to Notre Dame minus Trevor Lawrence is worse than Florida losing to Texas A&M fully with their whole crew there. That will never be able to be said to me. The same can be said for Notre Dame. If Notre Dame loses to Clemson at the end of the year in the conference championship, then I don't see how you try to sit here and tell me that Notre Dame doesn't get in over Clemson when Notre Dame's losses to Clemson and Florida's losses to Texas A&M. Like that Texas A&M loss is going to hurt them, unfortunately. It's just the better loss is. It's better to lose to Clemson or Notre Dame than it is to Texas A&M. And I'm not trying to slight Texas A&M at all, but
Texas A&M, right?
But Texas A&M, Texas A&M, are they ranked 5? They were ranked 21 when Florida lost to them.
Yeah.
Are you sure they're ranked 5?
I think Texas is number 5 in the country. I'm not 100 on that, but I think Texas A&M ranked that.
They're ranked number 5.
No, that's what I thought. Yeah. So
Texas A&M is number 5.
I'm gonna say this, right? There's no way there's 2 ACC teams getting into the college playoff.
Why not?
You're not putting in Notre Dame and because you're just not. You're just not.
Tell me why? Because Notre Dame and Clemson are just as big as college football teams as Florida
is. They are, but the ACC does not stack up to the SEC, and we've seen this play out time and time again. History will tell you that you're going to see 2 SEC teams in before you see 2 from any other conference. That's just right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just what I'm going to tell you is that you're going to see a BYU or Cincinnati get that other spot before you're going to see 2 ACC 1 loss get in. Like you can't justify putting 2 1-loss ACC teams in above, let's say, 2 1-loss SEC teams or 2 teams that go undefeated outside. Now I understand what with Clemson. So I don't know if there's a big difference in the loss, because you can't tell me that this was Trevor Lawrence didn't play that. Okay, so if we're going, I'll say it to you like this: if we're going to diminish the loss for Clemson because Lawrence didn't play, then that doesn't give Notre Dame the win because he didn't play. You understand what I'm saying? Like we can't say, oh, Notre Dame got a big win, but it's not that bad of a loss for Clemson because Lawrence didn't play. Like it has to equal out, right? Win or it's not that bad of a loss. Either way, I mean, you can only Sean, me and you, we say this to each other all the time. No matter what level, what sport we're talking about, you can only beat who's in front of you. You can only beat who you're playing against. I don't think that a team should be penalized because they didn't beat a team that was not fully staffed or whatever due to injury. It's not that team's fault. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it still had to go. Hold on, Corey. Hold on. And it go to what? Double overtime for Notre Dame that win without Lawrence, right? So, listen. I think it would be hard to put 2 one-loss ACC teams into the playoff format.
But okay,
now could it happen, Sean? Absolutely. Would it be a bad mistake if it happened? No, of course not. Because I understand what you're saying because they're going to be 2 of the top teams in, but I just don't know if Florida wins out. This is what we're saying, right? Wins out, Florida's in. There's no way they're not getting. Then if Alabama loses to Florida, then Clemson and Notre Dame are not getting in over Alabama. Both are not getting in over Alabama. Not both of them.
So here's my question.
And we know that to be true because we've seen it happen.
So here's my question. If Florida wins out, like you're saying, okay, let's live in the world where Florida lives out. How does Texas A&M not get in over Florida, or not get? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because Texas A&M already beat Florida earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So even if Florida beats out and beats Alabama,
right,
they still lost to Texas A&M, who is currently ranked higher than him. And if Texas A&M wins out, they'll have the same exact record going in with a win over Florida. So how does Florida get in over Texas A&M? What?
Right. So here,
they'll both be one-loss teams, right? Well, that's what I'm saying.
Now, when they went out, I mean went out all the way. Right? Yeah. Somebody has to win the championship. So I'm saying when I say went out, I mean them also winning the SEC.
I get no. Yeah. I got that. And that's why I was saying even if they win out and beat Alabama, they still lost to Texas A&M.
Well, it doesn't. But they'll get the automatic bid for being the champion though. See that, like if they win, so they win out and they win the SEC championship, Florida's automatically in.
Yeah.
So the question is, and I don't know this, and Corey, you can answer this. Is it possible for Florida and Texas A&M to play in the championship game?
It's not because Alabama's 7-0 and they beat them.
Yeah.
Like Bama beat Texas A&M earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here. I hear y'all running down. Here.
So is it possible for Florida and Texas A&M?
Texas A&M. No, Alabama's going to win. It's going to be Florida and Alabama.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, I'm not going to obviously beat Alabama.
Okay, but what I'm asking you is can Florida and Texas A&M meet in the SEC championship game or no?
Bama would have to lose twice, I think.
No.
They can't, right?
Alabama loses, but Alabama has a tiebreaker over A&M. But even if they lose, they're still going to.
Yeah, but if Bama loses to an unranked team, if Bama loses to an unranked team, then that could get A&M over top of them.
No. But Alabama still has a tiebreaker because they had that win over them.
Yeah, but if Bama loses to Arkansas at the end of the season, you're going to tell me that Arkansas loss isn't – no? Okay.
No. So what we can see, so let me make sure I got this right. So we can see a Florida, Alabama SEC championship game, right? We could see a Georgia. Georgia can still get to the SEC championship game, right?
Yeah.
Because we can't forget about Georgia.
Well, Georgia's a 2-loss team, though.
We gotta lose.
See, I gotta look up these divisions. I gotta see.
Team. I've been waiting to say that forever.
You've been waiting to say that forever. I gotta find out who's in what division because this changes things, Sean, automatically. Like if Florida and Texas A&M, if only one of them can get to the SEC championship, then you would think, like you're saying, Texas A&M, no, because they go by division. Remember,
Yeah.
SEC.
But I'm saying Alabama and Texas A&M are in one division, and Florida and Georgia are in the other one. So if Alabama loses its last 2 games, if Bama loses its last 2 games, technically Texas A&M wins out. Then Texas A&M can play Florida in the championship game. But since Bama holds that win over Texas A&M, it's going to be very hard for Texas A&M to get to that spot. But like I said, that's why I brought the question up, because even if Florida wins out, go all the way, and beats Alabama, they're still going to have that loss to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So if Texas A&M wins out, even though Florida might have won the conference championship, Texas A&M and Florida will have the same exact record, and Texas A&M will have a win over Florida. It's not their fault they couldn't play in the championship game to verse them. That's the way the conference is set up. Right. That's why I think. But they don't get in. But no. I get that. Yeah. But I'm saying it's stupid. Yeah. I'm saying it's dumb. I'm saying it's idiotic. I'm saying that Texas A&M is clearly the better team. That's why they whooped that ass. That's why they whooped that ass 3-4 weeks ago. Because they're the better team. So you ain't gonna sit here and try to convince me that Florida's better when Texas A&M whooped that ass 2-3 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Like, I mean, you could be the team 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you match back up later on, you might get dealt with. So,
granted, I think we all know Bama. I think we all know Bama's the best team in the conference anyway. But
you're not gonna get any argument from me on that one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it don't matter. We all know Bama's the best team in the conference there. So
yeah. Right. No. So then going back to the original point that where we started on this is that then for Notre Dame and Clemson to have a chance, then they need Texas A&M and Florida to meet. That's what they need.
Yeah, but you guys, I forgot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but to be honest, I forgot about BYU and Cincinnati. To be 100% honest. So even with you, when you brought those two up, you're right. There's no way. I think is Cincinnati and BYU undefeated? Because that's going to matter too when they think about it. Because if you're not in a Power 5 school, because that's what held that's what held UC. Well, Cincinnati's not in a Power 5 school, right? They're in the AC 10, aren't they? I could be wrong about that. Like I said, I don't really swim.
Yes.
They're in the AC 10, right?
No, you're right. That's where they are.
They're both in the BYU's not in the AC 10.
I think BYU's getting in. I think BYU.
So that's what I'm saying.
I think BYU's getting in. I don't know why.
They're in the AC 10 too. Yeah. So here, or they're in the FBS Independent. So here's the thing: like, it's going to be very hard for even if you're undefeated. That's the same problem that UCF had for years, right? Is they were winning all these games and going undefeated, not beating anybody. But the biggest thing, they didn't play anybody. They're not playing a ranked team. Yada yada yada. And none of that really matters right now, because in the long run, like you just said a little bit, you only play who's on your schedule. Right. So if you're undefeated, that means you're undefeated, right? So it's still always harder for a non-Power 5 school to get into the Final Four, to get into that the playoffs. We'll see what happens, but more than likely, I'm going to be real. I don't think they're going to let Cincinnati or BYU in, because it's going to be the same question of who they play.
I do.
We'll see, man. Because
I think
if they let them in, then they're slapping you. If they slap UCF in the face.
Not so much, right? And I'll say it to you, and I'll say it to you, and I'll say it to you this way, right?
I did great.
Yeah, and I'll say it to you like this: this year's 2020, depends. We've seen sports change the way they operate and the way they do things. If there's any year that you're going to let the non-power conference team in, it's going to be this year, because I mean, so I'll say this to you, right? So we're talking about maybe Ohio State getting in to the playoff, and they might end up only playing 6 or 7 games. That's not fair to BYU if BYU runs the table. To say Ohio State gets in and we played 11, 12 games, we were undefeated. We got a Heisman quarterback as well, right? You know what I mean? So I think that's how gets in, because much hype around them, because they got a good quarterback. They're going to play some ranked team. They're going to play Air Force. They haven't already. I think BYU has a really good chance of getting in this year. I just do. You know what I mean? Like we know this college football landscape. It's all screwed up, and it's even worse this year with teams, conferences playing late and getting 6 or 7 games. Some of your star players missing games due to COVID. I mean, it's gonna listen. This corrupt organization that we know as the NCAA, they're gonna have their hands full. They never really seem to get anyway when it comes to the 4 teams. Maybe last year, maybe it sorted itself out. This year, it's no different. This is why they need to expand the playoffs, and why these bigger conferences, they need to play each other. I say that to you every week, every time this topic comes up. There's no reason they're not playing each other in conference. We shouldn't be seeing Alabama playing State. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, hell, you do the same thing by playing Vanderbilt,
St. Mary's
right?
University.
you know what I'm saying? Missouri.
I'll tell you, man.
It's just crazy to me, man. Like how this works and gets set up. But every time we talk about this, all it does is make me hungry. And I wish that I had this thing available to me now that our show is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app. Pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. Please give me some in-seat delivery now as we talk this up. How do you play for your order? ArenaEats.com. And on this call, I appreciate everybody calling in. But now, man, as our good buddy Jim Ross says, this is a pickup because we shifted. We go all the way from college football straight to the NBA. And I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it loud, and I'm going to say it proudly. If you're a Boston Celtics fan, you need to either get up on this live feed or you need to hit them digits and call in, because I want to know what the hell Danny Ainge is doing and if y'all still consider him a genius, because
nobody knows.
Boston Celtics have lost two max free guys, right? For no compensation. They didn't get anything for Kyrie Irving leaving. They didn't get anything for Al Horford leaving, and they didn't get anything for Gordon Hayward leaving. And all I hear about is how Danny Ainge is constantly fleecing people. So he's this, he's that. Boston Celtics, talk to me. Charlotte Hornets, I need y'all to call in. I need y'all to check in. I need the Charlotte Hornet fans to talk to me about how they're feeling, right? Atlanta Hawks fans, Gotta give you some props because y'all making some moves. I like what Atlanta is doing. Rondo.
I do too.
Right?
I do too.
Yeah,
Rondo's perfect with Trae Young. I love him.
Now they're working on now they're working on Bogdan, right? So I'm just gonna say this, right? If your big free agency move is signing Tristan Kardashian Thompson to a 2-year, $19 million deal, we got to talk about that. I'm serious. We just do. When you have Enes Kanter come back to you for $5 million and you send him back out to Portland, which may be a better team than you right now, if they're constructed. definitely is re-signing on the vet minimum out there as well. And then you see Dwight Howard come to Philly for 2.6, but it comes out to be like 1.6 or 1.7 guaranteed
minimum,
right? You see New Orleans Noel go to New York Knicks for $5 million on 1 year. I mean, you really had to pay Tristan Thompson $19 million over 2 years. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't claim to be like, dollars and cents. I make pretty good sense out of, and I'm a little concerned about some of this money going around to some of these players. But it's the NBA, and I know that's how. Like, I'm not sure I'm giving Fred VanVleet $1 million over 4 years. Good for him. I'm definitely not giving Gordon Hayward 30. And I'm only laughing at that because me and my good forth about this yesterday. Was he not? And I kept saying he's going to get 30. He shouldn't, but he's going to get the 30. And he got the 30. So it is what it is, man. Jeremy Grant got $20 million. 3 years.
Jeremy Grant, to be fair,
it's like
Jeremy Grant deserved that. He deserved. I ain't mad for that. He deserved that. He definitely he deserved that.
$20 million.
Listen, Jeremy Grant has been a solid player in the NBA for a while. He deserved that. See, listen, I'm not trying to call you out or nothing, but listen, you're trying to view him. You're viewing him as a process guy for the Sixers. That's the problem. Is that you're viewing him as a process guy for the Sixers, and that's not what he is anymore. You know what I mean? Like he is since the Sixers, he was always a good defensive player. We knew that about Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant was always a good defensive player. Yeah. He's turned into a very good offensive player as well, to where he's a good two-way player. I'm not going to say a great or above average. He is an average two-way player and a very good defensive player. He's average on offense, very good on defense. He can guard 3 or 4 positions on defense, and he's taught himself how to shoot a little bit. What's up?
Sure. You're telling me an average two-way 20 mil?
An average 20 mil. You're talking 20 mil.
20 mil from the Lakers. How much he?
But 20 mil in the NBA, that's nothing. You're talking 20. You're talking 20 mil. That's nothing. 20 mils with your fourth is with your fourth. That 20 mils with your fourth starter makes.
All right.
I'm being serious because hear me out. I'm being real. Hear me out here. How much?
I believe you. I'm not knocking you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the money in the NBA is ridiculous.
I'm knocking the money.
Yeah, like 20 mil. That's Lou Williams' money, and he's the sixth man.
Yes.
If we're being real about it, like that's Lou Will money. Lou Will, I think, makes 17 a year. Yeah, I'm just saying, like the money. This is why everybody's listening. Everybody listening. If you got little kids still, you better get their asses in the gym putting up shots, because that's where the money's at. The money's in the NBA. Or the MLB, if you want to teach them how to swing a bat, feel free to teach them how to swing a bat and throw a fastball. But the money is in the NBA and in the MLB, and that's it. Don't put a hockey stick in his hand. Don't put a football under his arm. If you got little kids and you wanna get them paid, and you don't want to do the whole school route, teach them how to shoot a free throw and a 3-pointer, or teach them how to throw a knuckleball. Knuckleball, that's like an extinct pitch. They throw a knuckleball, they're good, they're good. They'll be paid. All right, Dickie's still making money from Toronto. You feel me? Like, listen, I know, Patrick, hit the button. Patrick, hit the button. I'm taking over. I'm taking over. Hit the button. You know exactly what button I'm talking about. Hit that button. I'm taking over. Hit that button. I'm taking over. Slam that down real quick. Listen, there's a name scrolling. You're going to see it scroll where my finger at. There it is. There's my finger. That's a big-ass finger. There it is. You're going to see that. You're going to see it scrolling right down there, right below you. There it is. Right there. If you ain't that guy, I don't want to talk to you. All right? If you ain't that guy, all right? I don't want to hear it no more. We call into your show all the time. Between Patrick and myself, we comment on your page all the time. When me and Patrick see it scrolling, we try to stay active. You make asinine comments back and forth. I need you to come on this show right now I got some crow. Swear I had it last night. I must have misplaced that. I'll try to find it. I'll work on trying to get that crow for y'all. All right. I was called a groupie. Last night. Y'all, listen, Anthony, I know that's your boy. But he called me a groupie because I called him out. Listen, man, I have a couple rules in my life. Okay. Just a couple. One is, if you're wrong about something, you own up to it. That's like the most important one. That's the one that's the one that I need to go off of for. If you're wrong about something, you own it. Okay? I get called out on this show all the time. I get called out on my page all the time. I get called out on other pages all the time. And guess what I got to do? I got to strap up my boots. I got to get on over there and I got to own it. Just like later on, because I'm a Eagles fan, I got to say that I think the Eagles are going to beat the Cleveland Browns, even though it may not be what I really believe. I don't ever vote against my team, so I will say the Eagles will beat the Cleveland Browns. So even when they lose, and I got Danny Spaulding hitting me up, or Keith hitting me up, or whoever it may be hitting me up talking about my Eagles suck, guess what I got to do? I got to strap on my boots. I got to get up and I got to start typing away. And that's what I got to do because I got to own it. When you make a comment and you say no free agents want to play with LeBron or go to the Lakers, then you follow that comment up by saying, name me a top 5 or 10 free agent that wants to sign, that has signed with the Lakers or LeBron. What happens when the reigning sixth man signs with LeBron and the Lakers? What happens? That's all I want to know. What happens when AD resigns with the Lakers too? Because they got, according to those lists that he was sending me, Lakers was number 1, right? Or AD was number 1 on those lists that he sent me, correct? AD was the number 1 free agent. So when he resigns a max contract with the Lakers, what then? What when Montreal Harrell, who was 11th on the one list he wanted to send me, because, you know, my man likes to go off a list and subjective lists that if Patrick writes a top 10 list right now and I write a top 10 list right now and Lou writes a top 10 list right now and Brian Jones writes a top list and Danny and Anthony and whoever else is commenting on this feed all write a top 10 list right now, guess what? Not a single one is going to be the same. Not a single one is going to be the same. You want to know why? And this is why I try to explain to people. They are all subjective. They're subjective to personal feelings. They're subjective to how people feel at the moment. All right? It's a plain and simple. Every single list that comes out is subjective. It's based off of people's emotions, of people's feelings, so on and so forth. You cannot sit here and tell me that the Lakers didn't have one of the best free agents / drafts in the NBA right now. You can't convince me. There's nothing you can say when you get Wesley Matthews, who people forget before he went to Milwaukee. Everybody thought that he could have signed anywhere and got a max contract, right? Wesley Matthews was that ish. He was a great 3-point shooter. He was top. He was a great defender. He could have signed anywhere and he was getting a max contract, right? Right. It's Montreal Harrell. He could have probably did the same exact thing, signed anywhere and got a max contract coming off the 6th man of the year, playing the way he did last year for the Clippers. But instead, he went from the left locker in the Staples Center to the right locker of the Staples Center. That's all he did. He was like, oh, I'll take my left here, just move right over here, and we'll keep going. Plain and simple. The Lakers had the best. I don't want to say the best. That's not going to be that. That's not going to be true if I say the best, because that's not true. The Lakers had a very, very, very good offseason so far. They still have to get AD re-signed. That's obvious, but I think it's foregone conclusion, correct? Like nobody thinks AD is not re-signing in LA after coming off a championship, right? Like we all believe AD. We all don't want to say believe. We all know AD is signing that max contract, right? Like that's a foregone conclusion. I think what we need to talk about more than anything is what Patrick talked about a little bit ago, but didn't really go into detail about it, is what the hell are your Boston Celtics doing? All right. You know what I noticed about the Boston Celtics, and somebody brought this up to me, and I thought it was really funny. Have you ever noticed that when the Boston Celtics now the Boston Celtics, I had to stop working on my Euro step to call Kevin for you. They sent me back 3 weeks battling for the oh God. So listen. We got to talk about the Boston Celtics because this is something that somebody brought up to me, and I was looking at it back at, and it was right. Have you ever noticed when Boston drafts somebody since Danny Ainge has taken over, they do one thing. So when they draft a player, it's he's a really good shooter, but he needs help doing this, and this. He's a really good defender, but he could grow at this, or this. They never get these. They don't really get these athletic, dynamic, two-way players anymore. When Jaylen Brown came out, offense was a struggle for him. Now, granted, he's worked that out, and I said before, Jaylen Brown is probably one of my favorite players in the NBA right now. I love Jaylen Brown. I think he's the best player in Boston. I'll battle that up too with any other Boston fans that want to. And I think Jaylen Brown is magnificent. He's and the most valuable piece on that team. But look at everybody on that team and look how none of them do the same thing, right? Right? Like they don't have any guys that are comparable in what they do. You have Jason Tatum, who's a great offensive scorer. He's very good at shooting the perimeter shot. You have Kemba, who's very good at slicing his way into the lane and very good at dribbling. You have Jaylen Brown, who's a very good post player and a good defender. Marcus Smart is a very good defender. And then you follow that up by losing Enes Kanter, and then you signed a worse version of Enes Kanter. That's all Tristan Thompson is. He's a worse version of Enes Kanter. That's plain and simple. You signed him for $19 million for 2 years too, which is insane. I mean, I get it. He don't have LeBron to get him those max contract deals no more. But dude, $19 million for a guy that literally rebounds. That's all Tristan Thompson's going to do. He is going to rebound, hopefully. And I say hopefully because you guys start Daniel Theis, or I don't know what reason, because y'all want to go small all the time. Like that is like, I'm not gonna like if you guys like, I don't understand Daniel Theis starting. I don't understand why he's in your lineup. Listen, I get him being like a backup power forward for that power forward you don't really need to be a stretch for. He could just kind of get down low and do what he wants. But Daniel Theis starting is the biggest question mark to me. Lose Gordon Hayward. And the funniest part about losing Gordon Hayward is you guys were so adamant that you were going to sign and trade him to Indiana. You know what he said to y'all? And I'm not sure if we got a blur button here, but I'll do a fake one. He said, F y'all, plain and simple. If y'all don't want to keep me, y'all not going to sign and trade me. I will opt out this 30 mil, this 34.2 mil. I'll opt out that. Y'all can kick rocks. I'll go somewhere else that wants me. I know I'm going to get 30 mil somewhere else, which it's astonishing he got 30 mil. And that's what Patrick was alluding to earlier. I said there was no way he was getting 30 mil. Watch this. Ready, everybody? Ready? I was wrong. My man got 30 mil. Oh, well. But yeah, like I truly don't get it. Like Boston's biggest signing so far has been Tristan Thompson. Now, granted, they could be keeping their money because they know like Tatum's going to need a max deal. Did they not just re-sign Jaylen Brown? I'm not sure on that. If there's any Boston fans there, please let me know. But I mean, if that's the whole thing of them knowing they have to sign players, then I get it to a point. But it's pretty bad when a team that's even.
They had a lot of draft.
Okay, but here's the thing: is even with the trades and the drafts. And listen, I want Brian Jones. And who else is Brian Jones? Brian Jones, you're the only one I see out there. I want you to comment this, and I'm gonna keep talking while you comment because I want an unbiased opinion. Okay, who so far has had a better offseason, Philadelphia or Boston? Because I'm damn sure picking Philly. All right, now I don't think there's not a doubt in my mind. I'm picking Philly. All right, Philly got out of Horford's contract, which was a bad contract, bad fit. We all know that. Got out of that contract and didn't even lose a first-round pick. He went 2025 for that, John. And we got they acquired Danny Green off it and got Seth Curry. And then on top of getting Seth Curry, they draft Maxey, who could arguably be a steal. We will see. Thank you, Brian Jones. He said Philly hands down, no contest. He plain and simple. then on top of doing that, they signed Maxey. Love the value at it. He was a very good guard in Kentucky. Kentucky guards usually work out in the NBA. Hopefully, he can get above that 29% three-point percentage for the year and get more to that 45% against top 5 teams. Hopefully, we will see. Then on top of getting Seth Curry, you get Dwight Howard to back up, to literally back up Joel. So your starting rotation starting to look more like an NBA starting rotation where the pieces are starting to fit and whatnot. Plus, you have a nice scorer coming off the bench in Seth Curry. And the one thing I'm mad about, and I said it to Patrick, and Patrick, I'm gonna follow this up by going right to the team. You'll like this. Is that the Sixers didn't get Alec Burks. They gave Alec Burks the Knicks gave Alec Burks $6 million. $6 million for Alec Burks, who was phenomenal, off the bench for them, and put up monster numbers off the bench for them. It was an excellent bench score that you could have paired with Seth Curry. I would have been cool with giving Alec Burks the veterans the mid-level exception. Perfectly cool with giving him the mid-level exception. 1,000% cool with giving him the mid-level exception, because that means that you're only giving him 8 something, only paying him $2 more mil than the Knicks would have paid him. But then I think the Knicks had secretly a really good offseason that people don't want to talk about. Now, their draft pick kind of left some more to be desired, but overall, I think the Knicks' moves have been really good. And they already had Julius Randle. They added Alec Burks. Then on top of that, you get Nerlens Noel to back up Julius Randle. Those three alone, I think, is phenomenal moves for the New York Knicks. I think they're going to be somewhat competitive this year. I don't want to say like they're not going to be top 3, top 4 worst teams in the league like they kind of were last year, but they'll be competitive. Atlanta, y'all had a nice showing too. And the other team I was New Orleans, dude. The fact that New Orleans paid Gordon Hayward that much money, and if you saw, did you see? I forget who. I think you might have posted it. The money that other teams were going to give him. I think you might have shared that just to me, actually, like in our conversations. Like then the next time, where is it? So I can get this right. No, you didn't send it.
It was I think it was 70 mil from the Knicks. 70 mil from the Knicks.
And 80 mil from the Hawks.
Yeah. And
80 mil from the Hawks.
Everybody away.
And then I didn't know, first, I don't know where MJ learned to negotiate. I mean, I clearly know he's not the GM over there, but who the hell is he hire that guys, oh, you're getting 80 mil from them? Let me jump it up $40 million. We'll get you to 120. That's the next move here. Let's not go to 90. Let's go to 120. Listen, I don't know who Gordon's agent is, but listen, get my number scrolling below. 215. Come on, get my number scrolling below. Hit me up, bro, because I got some deals that need to be made. Bro, that's insane. That's kind of money that just don't make any sense. And here's the thing: is the thing I've been joking about. You said it. You said it to me first, and I've been taking. I'm not gonna lie. I've stolen it completely and been rolling with it. My man is a hangnail away from being out the NBA. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I love when you like that. I was dying. I
stole it from you. I'm not gonna lie.
It's true.
I'll let everybody know.
No, because Mike Ziegler has said banking on getting the Utah Gordon Hayward. And I'm like, yeah, he long gone. What? I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of cheddar. And he small forward too. What are you gonna do? You got Rozier. They got Melo. He can't D up anybody. He's just gonna come in. He's just gonna come in and try to beat everything. So I'm really interested in see how that works. I know they're to bait him. Nick bait him, so they got they got 27 mil off the books and there, but it's man, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And tell you, I was really impressed with the draft. I was impressed by everything with the draft. I was impressed. I thought the AA did a really good job of getting the players their moments. I liked all the interviews from these young guys. You know, they're all ready to come in and contribute and do what they got to do to help these teams. But you
Was
know,
it me or
going
was it
back to
like
Boston, man, they also
was it like
traded away
Waterworks out in the draft?
Bain, man. They drafted that Bain kid and they traded him away. It's like, you know, and now to Kevin Dixon's credit, he even said it the other day, he's like, I don't know what we're doing. He was like, Danny Ainge, you gotta talk to me because I got people blowing on my inbox. I don't know what we're doing. You know, it's crazy. So we got a Hornets fan in the group. Daniel Simmons, Mitch Kupchak has been doing a great job with this rebuild. If they Nick Batum contract, pretty much the same payroll wise, isn't done. Yeah, but the thing is, then they had to get rid of Batum to fit Hayward in. Well, I'm not really sure how much more to do. You know what I mean? Like you had to get rid of that the minute to fit Hayward in because they didn't do a sign and trade. And on Charlotte, that's on Boston's end. Like I was talking to Sean about it yesterday, and I laid out the options that Hayward had. It was one, go to the Knicks, go to Charlotte. Remember I said that, right? I said Charlotte, Knicks, or Atlanta are the ones they're saying has money. But he wanted to go to Indiana. Indiana wouldn't have it. Then it was just sign or do it in trade. Okay, so I like this. And I'm Daniel. This is why I asked, man, because you know Charlotte's not our team. We covered, but so I've watched what they did. James Borrego and staff have done a great job developing these guys. But I see Rozier and a couple of guards on the move. Yeah, I am seeing Terry Rozier's name possibly being moved.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask about, like, do you like Daniel? I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna keep going to give you time to respond and everything in the feed, so I can keep going off it. So my first question is with this go to Daniel Simmons, Terry Rozier. Like that's been talked about a lot today. With me and Keith had the conversation about Terry Rozier being moved. What do they realistically think they can get for Terry Rozier? Because I don't really see much value in Terry Rozier and his contract or nothing. Like they'll be lucky to just they'll be happy, I think, just to get Rozier off the books, but I think they're still going to have to pay part of this contract. And my next question is, while you answer the first one is, excuse me, wouldn't it have been smarter for them not to sign Gordon Hayward this year and I don't say stunk, but just not been that good one more year and try to just let kind of LaMelo grow a little bit. I don't want to say go full tank mode here, but like, you know, get as close to the top of the draft as you could. And then next year, you know, you get another young guy in the top 3 that you can pair with Melo. And then you signed, you know, that big name free agent. Wouldn't that have made a little bit more sense than going out there and spending $30 million a year on Gordon Hayward, on a guy that, you know, you might not even get the full 4 years from? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I saw you post that earlier, and I like the question, but I disagree. Now we both that Hayward's an overpay, so we can just put that. But I think at this point though, you try to put the best out there that you can, and at some point you do need some veteran leadership. Even when we were going through the process, we still have veterans come in trying to help out the young guys, right? I think you still have to work on the roster. And as Daniel Simmons said, you know, money doesn't really seem to be an option because they were willing to take on Russell Westbrook's contract, which is true. That was like that deal almost happened and this and that. To get him off the books and flip him into a pick, I feel you. So he agrees with you there and thought was the way they were going to go, but something changed. That is true. That is they were. All right, Lou. We'll see you next week, bud. I see you out there, Nate. We'll get you on as well. I think that's a move. Sean, I think when you look at the Terry Rozier situation, I think you have to liken it to our situation, what we did with Horford. At this point, you just want to move the money and then get back a pick or maybe another fringe player, maybe another veteran to get in. I don't know what that value is, but depending on who wants them, could change, right? Because when you move somebody, value of that player is in the eye of the receiving team, right? Especially in the NBA, right? Because you know the NBA works differently because you just can't trade a player for what you need because you have to make sure the salaries match up, which is kind of crazy, right? I mean, so it's weird to think that Danny Green has been traded twice a week and nobody can officially say that he's been traded yet. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the way these contracts and everything work, right? So I think that's a great question. But I think though, especially everybody's going to say that the West is still the gauntlet. The East is weak. So if we go off that premise, then no, you don't try to tank because you try to fight for that eighth spot in the East to get in because who you fighting? You're fighting the Wiz, right? And they got a little bit better, with some of the moves they made. They kept Bertrand's and they signed a couple other people. They're making some moves. So I really think that the NBA is going to be exciting this year, especially if they can play, which I fully expect them to play because their bubble situation worked out well. Worked out well. Yeah, Baltimore. I agree, man. Morris got a great deal from the Clippers.
Yeah.
I thought that was another overpay. I thought that was a little bit much. But
his brother's free agent.
If we're saying that Jeremy Grant earned his $20 million, yeah, but Marcus is the better of the twins, right? The one
Marcus is the better. Listen,
right?
Marcus is the better of the twins, but
yeah.
What twins got that championship though? That's all I'm saying. Well, what twins got that championship?
But the other one ain't right? The other one ain't no slouch, right?
Listen, Markeith.
The other one ain't that slouch, right? Yeah.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. Markeith ain't bad. Don't sleep on Markeith. He ain't bad, but he's not Marcus. I said it last year, and we've had plenty of conversations about this. I always said, get me a Morris brother. One day they're from Philly, and I always said, get me a Morris brother. John Wall.
You have always said that. Yeah.
He don't fit. Anthony, he doesn't fit in Philly. Let's be real. He's a ball dominant guard that doesn't shoot that well. How are you going to pair him with Ben Simmons? Yeah, and I'm not trading. And here's my other thing is I'm not trading Simmons. Me and you've had this conversation as well. I'm not trading Simmons. I can't do it. I can't physically trade a guy that is a jump shot away, from being LeBron. He's not even a jump shot. He's attempting a jump shot away from being Giannis. So I can't trade Ben. I will never be able to trade Ben just based off of that fact alone. And I also think the Sixers are at the same mind as me is that they're going to, if the Sixers do trade one of the two, it's going to be Joel before Ben. And I want to read Daniel Simmons' thing real quick. We did the same to Tony Parker, veteran leadership. I don't think it was the same.
This John Wall needs to just take his money and be quiet. He is not a star. He is not a superstar. And anybody can at me on this. Keep in mind, right? When you come at me on this, keep in mind, I live right here in the DMV. I know firsthand that him and Bradley Beal don't get along. So when I say that, I'm speaking the truth, right? There's no coincidence that this young man asked for a trade, and he comes up with I'm asking for a trade because I was rumored to be in a trade for Russell Westbrook. Well, yeah, Russell Westbrook at this point in his career is better than you, and y'all pretty much are the same player. So you're making a lot of money for not playing, not contributing, not driving that team anywhere. That is Bradley Beal's team. When you got hurt, that team flourished, and they made the comment. Everybody's eating now that the ball's being shared. He really fit anywhere except you are Russell Westbrook. You're a pass batter. Please. And he's not a star. Because Sean, when it comes to the NBA, and this is true more on the NBA than any, we like to throw the star around on these players that haven't anything. Our friend says to us, name me a guard that came from Kentucky that has not been a star.
I named like 9.
Fox isn't a star yet. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander isn't a star yet. Kevin Knox, I don't know what position he plays, but he's not a star.
He's a forward.
But I I let it ride because I understood the context of his comment. But, for me, let these players marinate. Let them be who they're going to be. If we think that Maxey is going to be the next best thing, fine. Let him grow in being that. You will never catch me saying that this kid's going to be this. And I don't like when the general media does that. Like, I understand when they're being drafted, you want to get comparisons so we can figure out who they might be like going forward. But when it's time for them to play, just let them play, right? Just let them play. Like, I don't need this kid to be the next Jamal Murray. I just need him to be Maxey, and whatever that is, be that. If you're going to be that good, then be that. Let these kids grow. Let these, it's the same thing that we always hear about Ben. Like the thing is, people say Ben can't shoot. Well, we don't know if Ben can or cannot shoot because he won't shoot. There's a big difference. The saying, like Russell Westbrook right now can't shoot. Giannis right now can't shoot. Right? There's a difference between can't shoot and not wanting to shoot. And it's like you said, Ben Simmons is a mid-range jumper away from being that guy because everything else he does is elite. And for people that say, and this is really nation, because I'm on his Twitter and people are like, they don't understand what the big thing is about Ben Simmons. Listen, you saw what happened without Ben. 4-0 sweep. You lost to a team dominated in the regular season. You got swept by them because your best player wasn't on the court. Joel Embiid is not Philadelphia's best player. It's Ben Simmons. And we can go toe-to-toe on that anytime, anywhere if anybody wants to get at that. Because Ben Simmons, is going to take care of his body. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, but the one thing that I will give it for up to this point is that they're keeping guys together. And I said that, and I said to you, because you listen, you see how much more fluid I am with this NBA talk, so I've been doing my research, right? Because usually I don't say much, but you see, right? I'm on this.
Oh, you're forced to, man. You're doing a show with me. You're doing a show with me. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly. But I've been saying that the Sixers are doing the right thing on building the team from the outside in. And you had made a comment earlier that I wanted to piggyback on, and I think people lose sight of this, right? I told you this, how much I wanted Danny Green last year, right? I was like, we got to get Danny Green. We got to get Danny Green. I kept saying that to you. You were like, yeah, okay. And I gave you all my reasons why he would fit, what he would do. Now, it could be a year late to get, I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is that when you bring in a player that's been there, done that, that does wonders.
3 times.
You
3 different teams.
Who get Danny, right? If he can continue to develop his shot, Green, what better way to become that type of player than learning from that player firsthand and getting the experience of what it's to be like in different markets, but still play at a high level, right? So the comment was, well, Danny Green didn't win the championship. But it's like, well, hold on. But he did not help his team not win either. Like, Danny Green didn't come to Philadelphia to be the star. Danny Green is coming to Philadelphia to a role. Shoot the 3, play D, be a good veteran leader, and bring some professionalism to the team overall, right? The whole overarching theme for Philadelphia this whole offseason has been about getting respectability back, right? Getting structure back. Getting structure in the front office, getting respectability back in the front office, and getting a professional atmosphere. You do that with the VP or the president of basketball operations. You keep Elton Brand as a GM, let him learn, let him continue to grow. You bring in a professional coach who put together a damn good coaching staff.
I can't click on that.
You know what? Okay. I see that. Don't get me started. I'm going to give you a pass tonight. But next week, come back. Because I'm going to, you know what? In fact, I'm not going to let it go.
No.
I'm going to let it go. You are not going to sit up here and take a shot at the Cowboys when your fucking Eagles suck. And all you Philadelphia fans, except for right here, constantly telling me, wait to see Carson Wentz is healthy. He's going to be MVP. Well, last time I looked healthy, and he sucks. Carson Wentz fan. So you got no choice but to sit here and listen to me talk NBA because the Eagles suck. Point blank. Yeah, you better laugh, chump. And your Cubs suck too.
But I want to piggyback off of what you said about Danny Green, man, because I think it was real good here.
Anthony, we're not.
Go ahead.
We're not done with you. Go ahead, Eddie. We're not. Go ahead, Nate. It's on you.
So wait a minute. So we have a Cubs fan. So we have a Cubs fan who's talking smack of Cowboys. Stop it, man. Stop it. Look. I mean, you don't have Ferris Bueller over there cheering for you anymore. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Stop it. As far as the Cubs are concerned. All right. My Cowboys. I don't know what's wrong with my Cowboys. I am
so much.
I'm highly disappointed with my Cowboys. However, as long as we beat the Eagles and or the Giants and or the team with no name, I'm okay. That's the way I look at this. I don't have to win any other games. I just want them to beat those guys. Straight up. So all the Steelers fans who talking smack to me, you all have shingles just like Terry Bradshaw. I will say that.
Whoa.
The Falcons fan. Who's there guy on over here on your show who's really getting money? The Falcons supposed to beat my Cowboys. What happened to him? I haven't heard nothing from him. I don't know what happened to him. You know what I mean? Because he was blowing me up on your page, Pat. You know what I mean? Yeah. Man, 20-0 hashtag. Never forget. Never forget. I told you not to talk about my Cowboys down here in the state of Georgia.
Son, you weren't here that night. That was funny.
Out of your mouth. Straight up. I told you I don't care how bad we are. You're still off the beat. Straight up. See, aren't you glad I told you not? I'm a consultant. You should be happy that I told you to keep your money in your pocket. All right? I just made you some money. I made some money. That was a bad investment. You never invest in the Falcons or the Hawks or the Braves or any other team like the Georgia Bulldogs. Any team that's pretty much in the state of Georgia. Don't bet with them. It's not good. It's not good. Lose your money. All right? That's a horrible investment. Plain and simple.
Oh my God!
I do not see a path for the Bulldogs to get to the championship. It just sucks. You know what I mean? Shout out to Michigan for I think they're about to lose to Rutgers this game. I don't, and
Big Ten is horrible.
Big
Ten is horrible.
Right.
So bad.
They're
Rutgers is in the Big Ten.
2024, 21. And I'm New Jersey, but still, it shouldn't matter. With that, I will still talk back to Buckeye fans, Ohio State fans. I mean, you're disappointed in your team doesn't count. You don't stop it. Inbox. We know who you are. And I'm supposed to be going to Boston. Now, check this out, Sean. I think you would like this. Now, I'm supposed to be going to Boston on business, I think, next year. And I plan on honoring the judge, sure, in front of him, Boston, taking that picture just to piss off people over there. I promise you I'm going to do that. That's the bull jive I'm going to do when I'm up there.
That's the bull jive.
Bro, I went to Boston when I was 18, 19 years old, walked around my Yankees jerseys on the entire time. Ain't nobody say nothing to me because the only answer I would have had for them anyway is 27. So, is what it is. They're all scared up there. You'll be all right.
It is.
They're all scared up there. You'll be all right. I mean, granted, I'm more. Go ahead, man.
I like what Anthony Baltimore's saying here. He's like, Danny is just like Kyle Korver and Mike Miller. Teams need those type of guys to win a chip. Said as much when he think Danny. Nah, that's That's a good thing. That's a good point. And I think that's a really good point, Anthony. That you need those role players. You need those guys that come in and do their part. And I think that's why I'm really happy with the Sixers have done thus far. And I don't think they're done. Rumors are they might be making a trade tonight. So we'll see what that means.
And that's what I was trying to say about Danny.
It's going to be for Zach.
That's what I was trying to say earlier about Danny Green. Danny Green's coming to shoot the ball. That's all he's doing. He's coming in to help the spacing out for Joel Embiid. That's all he's doing here. It's the same thing with Seth Curry. They're coming in to help the spacing because with Al Horford and Joel Embiid on the floor and Ben Simmons, you had three guys that couldn't shoot on the floor at the same time. I don't say Joel can't shoot because we know he likes to always step that three, but it's not really a threat. But with guys that you're bringing in, you're forcing the threat to the three. So even if Danny Green goes 0 for 11 every single night, the threat of him shooting is still there. And that was the same thing that with JJ Redick. And people would forget, like JJ had his nights where he was 2 for 11, but then those nights it didn't matter because he would still draw on the defense out to him, and it was stopping the double team on Joel, which was making Joel a better decision maker. One, because he didn't have to worry about the double team and forcing the turnover that quick. And two, he had somebody he trusted to shoot all the time. So that's why I think with Danny Green and I think Seth Curry was the better move of the two, to be honest. But I like the Danny Green one just to get the Horford obviously the Horford contract off the books. And also, I'm not sure how much of this you guys know, but Al Horford's sister is Al Horford's family in general is Michael Ziegler Jr. probably knows this, but Al Horford's family, his brother and his sister, they're something else. They are something else. I mean, I ain't going to try to explain it to y'all. You guys can go on and listen. Anna might look good as hell, but go read her Twitter because she is.
Yeah,
insane.
she's a trip.
Like straight up. Josh Richardson left, and he said, "Thank you, Philadelphia and the fans." Josh Richardson left and was completely professional. Al Horford, you and your whole family, see y'all later. Nice to not know you. Hope I never see you again. Peace, deuces. I don't want to ever see y'all again. Y'all are the worst.
Well, hold on. Let's be fair to Al, right? His deal isn't official yet, and I'm sure once it is, he'll say something. I can't say anything about his family, but I'm sure Al will be the professional that has been, and he'll say something. But speaking of that, though, as we were getting on the NFL, you had made mention that Philadelphia is going to be Cleveland tomorrow.
Hey, guys, I got one quick NBA question.
Yes. So go ahead.
What do you think about Harden in the Nets? What do you think about Harden in the Nets? Do you think that's going to go down? Go down?
I don't think that happens. I don't think
Harden
that
where?
I don't think Harden to the Nets. I don't think it happens for a couple of reasons. Main reasons are Boston and Philly. Boston and Philly could put together better packages for him. And I think that Houston really does not want to give James Harden, for whatever reason, what he wants. And I don't think it happens to Brooklyn. And, when you look at this Brooklyn situation, the only person you hear or have him connected to in Brooklyn is KD, right? You ain't hearing Kyrie saying, yeah, let's bring Harden in, right? You're not hearing that. And it was just said the other day, I think it was by, I don't want to get the person wrong, but it was one of the experts like Chris Broussard, one of those type guys was like, Kyrie doesn't want James Harden in Brooklyn. Shocker, right? Now, of course, the Kyrie apologist will say, that's not what he says. That's not how he thinks. That's not how he feels. But we all know he's showing us to be that guy. At the end of the day, Nate, I don't think that Harden ends up in Brooklyn. And if he does, I don't think if he does, it will either be at the All-Star break or next year when he only has one more year left on his deal. But I just don't see how Brooklyn feels like they could just send a couple players and some picks over to Houston to get him when the Sixers have see go Ben Simmons. That trumps everything. Blank. Everybody's off. But yeah, that's a great question though. Sean, what do you think? Do you think it happens?
No. I don't think it can happen. I think if Houston really wants to start like rebuilding and trading him, unfortunately, like you just said, like there's teams out there that can give Houston more than Brooklyn can. And I mean, here's my thing: is like, so I've said to you when I first said it, if they give them Dinwiddie, LeVert, and a first round pick, well, you're depleting your roster. One, if you're the Nets, and you're giving yourself no chance to rebuild because you just gave up that first round pick too. You can't do that. You need a bench. And that's proven in the NBA is that you need a bench. No matter how much you don't want to have one, you need 3 or 4. You need 2, 3, 4 guys that can come off the bench and give you solid minutes and score solid points for you, or you're getting blown out every single night. And that's going to be the Nets' problem moving forward. Is you got KD, you got Kyrie, but if you trade Karis LeVert and you already lost Garrett Temple, you are in a world of trouble with that bench, and that's a problem. So yeah, unless Houston wants to trade him to a bad team, and I'm talking, the Knicks of the world, or the maybe even the Timberwolves of the world. I mean, I don't really see, or maybe even Orlando possibly. I don't see a lot of good return for James Harden because they're gonna want 3 or 4 first round picks for James Harden. I don't blame them. James Harden's top 3 player in the NBA. Y'all can debate me and hate me for all you want. There's a lot of hate for a great player out there, and I don't know why. My man is in the MVP and the top 3 MVP every single year for the last 3, 4, 5 years. He's a top 3 player in the NBA. Plain and simple.
You see Russell Westbrook move, and James Harden is moving. I'll put it to you like that. But all right, man. Let's segue into these NFL picks. Go ahead, Nate.
To be honest, I was hoping that maybe the Rockets sort of like the Celtics, and they'll make a really stupid trade with the Nets, so they wouldn't hurt.
I think Well, no, and I can understand it. I can understand why the next point from the Nets, and I think that as the season goes on, if Houston isn't doing anything, then you might see it as well. Then you have a better chance. Like if Houston is not going to be coming out the gate strong in that Western Conference, then they can make things so miserable that you might see it then. But man, let's transition in these NFL picks and let's get out of here. It's just me, you, and Nate.
Alrighty, I only got 4 games. I'm gonna do this quick. I got the first up, my Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't even know if they're home. I ain't gonna lie. They are at the Cleveland Browns. They are at the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns are the home team. Nate, who do you got? Ha! Dick's Flexion not calling in. Ha ha! Great name, Mike. I like it. Nate, no, you got nothing for us?
That is great. That is great. No, Nate said the Browns.
Oh, he did. All right, you?
I got the Browns too.
I got the Eagles. Moving on.
The Eagles will not beat the Browns.
I can't hear a word he said.
Is your quarterback?
He said
beat the Giants. I expect to beat the Browns.
He said, I said, I don't know why I'm picking the Browns. He's not going to tell you why. Carson Wentz will be the reason why they don't win. Can't beat the Giants. You can't beat the Browns.
But he did beat the Giants, so that's a false statement. He's 1-1 against the Giants, meaning that he beat them once, then lost to them once. Besides the point, moving on. I'm not here. That's not defend Carson Day. Not yet. We got, where is it? There it is. The Titans. The Titans. I'm moving on, Nate. I don't care anymore.
Did you pick Philly?
Yes, I begrudgingly picked Philly.
Did you pick Philly?
I picked the Eagles, unfortunately.
Okay,
I wasn't happy about it. Let's just start.
All right, let's go.
We got the Titans.
I wasn't happy about it.
We got the Titans at the Ravens. And wow, that line's telling. Nate, who you got?
I got Baltimore.
Pat?
Baltimore.
I heard him. That's why I asked.
I'm going Ravens as well.
Wow. So since you
Tannehill hasn't been the same ever since or Lawan went out. He hasn't been the same.
So this is really really cool. So it's not really cool. It's like really interesting that the line on this game. Both teams are 6-3, mind you. Both teams are second place in their division. I'm told that both teams have an MVP caliber quarterback. That's what I was told, at least. I think it's more believable for one team than the other. But the line 6 points in Baltimore's favor. That's a lot. I'm going the Ravens too.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's 6 points like for the Ravens.
That's
like
a lot.
Like I thought I could see 3 because they're the home team.
Especially with
So I could see anywhere between a point and a half to 3. Yeah, but
how injured they are.
Oh yeah, and
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I got to go the Ravens there. Next one I got is the Packers at the Colts. I lied. I have 5 games. Nate. Nate. Y'all all fuzzy on me.
I'm going Colts.
You're going Colts? What did he go? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
All right. Nate said Green Bay. I'm picking the Colts.
There we go. All right. I am picking Green Bay as well as Nate's. Gee. I guess I got to pick. Cowboys, Vikings. Cowboys at Vikings. I'm only picking it because you two are Cowboys fans. Patrick, you can go first.
We could have stayed away from this one.
Listen, I call our team.
I'm gonna take the Vikings in a close one. Yeah, Vikings are turning the corner here. Vikings might turn a little run. Taking the Vikings.
I buy that. Nate.
You pick Vikings.
Vikings. I don't have faith in my Cowboys.
Listen. It's not. Listen, I'm gonna be real. It's not even that I don't have faith in your Cowboys, but I agree with everything Patrick just said. The best running back in football, y'all, Dalvin Cook, is coming to town, and they look. I agree. I think they're about to go on a little run, and they might scare. I don't think they're going to win a division, but they might scare Green Bay a little bit at the end of the year. Moving on, we got the Sunday night game, boys. Chiefs at the Raiders. Patrick.
Oh, give me Chiefs all that. Chiefs in a blowout.
Nate.
I got the Chiefs. Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Unanimous there, boys.
Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs as well. And again, the Chiefs are the away team, and this is interesting as well. The away team to a team that is 6-3, and I believe they're 6-3 and second place in their division. And the Chiefs are 8-point favorites as an away team. I mean, if that's not screaming Chiefs, I don't know what is. Moving on, we got the Rams at the Buccaneers. That should be a good game for Monday night. This is the first time Tom Brady has seen the Rams since beating them in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And Nate, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Rams on this. I have a funny feeling that they're going to give Brady some problems. I think the Rams are going to win.
Patrick?
I'm taking Tampa because they're the home team.
I'm sorry, man. I think you're howling again because I am picking the Rams. The problem with when you have The problem with when you have too many targets to throw to, it just seems like Brady isn't connecting with the most important ones. And you know who I'm saying the most important ones are, because I've been on these two for a while. On top of not connecting with the most important ones, and if y'all can't figure out who his most important targets are, it's Evans and Godwin. They haven't been healthy for him this year. He's been literally throwing to the tight end that he had in New England when he was with Gronk, and thank God, because that's all he literally's had for a while. It's really tough when you're like, again, your most important targets aren't there. One last thing I gotta ask, and then we can be out, is Leonard Fournette. Can we just say that he's dead in Tampa Bay or what? Because Ronald Jones has taken that job and ran away. I mean that literally.
I said Leonard Fournette, and everybody got all my case off. I ain't saying nothing.
All right. Well, we can. Then you can shut it down, buddy.
Shut it down. All right. Hodge Podge Sports Show sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats app. Pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
Hate to be the bear bad news, but the show is over. Hope you enjoyed it. We can sit and debate and go back and forth all day long. Shout out to Raina Williams. Ain't another place to hold it down like the way that we hold it down. Won't hesitate to be my last song. That you ain't know it then, bet you know it now. Patton Sean with the dynamic, whoa, one of the best show around. Reverse 360 windmill. Vince Carter when we put it down. And now rocking the make me. Show be hitting like Mike Trout. These other guys try and ride the wave, but not the day they get wiped out. Cause we on a whole nother momentum. They follow the trends, we the one to settle. Let it smack on like Stone Cold. That's the bottom line until we started something. These lame stations ain't saying nothing. They just talk to hear their voices. Place the team vibe, the hot spot sports show, the heat coming like Palomalo in the backfield. Relax, chill, everything covered. When we move full head of steam, please off the track when the train coming. Want to thank Net, a good time, what it's all about. Hope to catch y'all here next week. Same time, we'll be zoning out, and we encourage you to call. Be opinionated, bring it on. Just make sure that you're ill prepared and come hard and not at all. Verbal warfare, talking sports here. Ding, ding, let's get it on. And unless you stating stats, you ain't saying jack, keep calm and carry on. 24 on that jersey, feeling something like Kobe, with a few seconds on that game clock. Down two, but who worry? Throwing L's to the competition, it make them sick to see us winning. Black Mamba mentality, see it better than me and go get it. Yeah. You already know how we do, man. Hey, yo, Sean, what up?
What?
Hey, yo, Pat, what up?
What up, Taz?
Thank you for tuning in, man. Hodge Podge Sports Show, baby.
There he goes. Good night, everybody. Thanks for checking in with us. We'll see you all next week.
Yeah, buddy.
Be safe. Be good. Wear your mask.